In 1970, a mother purchased an antique Raggedy Ann doll from a hobby store. The doll was a present for her daughter, Donna, on her birthday. Donna at the time was a college student, preparing to be a graduate at her nursing degree, residing in a tiny apartment with her roommate, Angie, a nurse as well. Pleased with the doll, Donna placed it on her bed as a decoration and didn't give it a second thought until a few days later. Within that time, both Donna and Angie noticed that there appeared to be something very strange and creepy about the doll. The doll apparently moved on its own, relatively unnoticed moments at first, like a strange position, but with the passage of time, the movements became more noticeable. Donna and Angie would come back home to find the doll in a completely different room, which they had left it in. Sometimes the doll would be found upright, standing on its feet, leaning against a chair in the dining room. Several times Donna placed the doll on the couch before leaving for work, would return home to find the doll would be in her room on her bed with the door closed. One night, Donna came home to find the doll had moved again. This time, it was on her bed. Donna had come to find that it was typical for the doll. Somewhat she knew that it was different. Something wasn't right. A sense of fear came over her when she inspected the doll and saw it had a bloody drop on the back of its hands and its chest. Seemingly from nowhere, a red liquid had appeared on the doll. Scared and desperate, Donna and Angie decided it was time to seek expert advice. Not knowing where to run, a medium and a seance was held. Donna was then introduced by the spirit of Annabelle Higgins. The medium related to the story of Annabelle to both Donna and Angie. Annabelle was a girl that resided on the property before the apartment was built. She was a young girl only 7 years old when her lifeless body was found in a field upon which the apartment complex now stands. The spirit related to the medium that she felt comfort with Donna and Angie and wanted to stay with them by moving into the doll. Feeling compassion for Annabelle and her story, Donna gave her permission to inhabit the doll and stay. They were to soon find out, however, that Annabelle was not what she seemed to be. Later that week, Donna saw that the doll, or Annabelle, was ripped in jagged cuts along her mouth. One night, Donna awoke to something singing like a little girl. She walked into her bathroom to see Angie dead with the words, "Wanna play?" written in blood on her friend. The doll was never found. Lou was friends with Donna and Angie and had been with them since the day the doll had arrived. He had never been fond of the doll on several occasions, warned Donna that it was evil. Seeing that she should have got rid of it, however, Donna had developed a personal tie to the doll and decided to keep it, despite Lou's feelings. Her decision was a terrible mistake. One night, Lou awoke with a jolt of terror, a jolt that didn't seem it was from usual nightmare. Somehow, something felt different. What would appear to be a common case of sleep paralysis became all too real. He looked around the room, but didn't conceive anything out of the ordinary. At first, anyway. Looked towards Donna's feet, he saw the doll Annabelle. It began to slowly glide against his leg, moving over his chest and stopped at his neck. Helpless against it, the doll began to strangle him. After a moment, Lou, at the point of anxiety, blacked out. He woke the next morning, certain it was an ordinary night terror, and was determined to get rid of the doll himself and the spirit that possessed it. Preparing for a road trip the next day, Lou and Annie were reading over the map along in the apartment. The apartment was eerie quiet. The silence was broken when ruffling sounds coming from Donna's room aroused fear that someone had broken into the apartment. Lou, determined to figure out what was causing the noise, quietly made his way into the bedroom. He waited for the noise to stop before entering and turning on the light. The room was completely empty except for Annabelle, who was tossed in a corner of the floor. Lou searched the room size for forced entry, but nothing was out of place. As he got close to the door, he got the distant impression that somebody was behind him. Spinning around, Lou found that despite of uneasy, nobody besides himself, the doll, were in the room. Then in a fear motion, he found himself doubled over in pain, with blood spurting the cut of his chest. Upon opening his shirt, there over his chest were appeared to be 7 distinct claw marks. Today, I hope you enjoyed this article. It should be And should you ever visit the infamous Annabelle, she can be found at the Warner Occult Museum in Montrose, Connecticut. The museum is run over Lorraine Warren, the famous paranormal investigator and now frequent guest of the television show I can read today. And now frequent guest on the television show Paranormal State, housed in a glass case at the museum. You will find Annabelle, Miss Warner, related that Annabelle still moves about occasionally and is still known to making growling noises at unsuspecting visitors.